what?
Good Monday morning to you guys. I hope you guys all had a good 4th of July weekend and a safe one. And I just hope everybody's doing well. Getting back to the old grind, I guess. Today's kind of cloudy. We got a pretty good chance of showers and stuff again today. We actually had 1.5 inches over the weekend, so the urgency to start irrigating this week is a lot less, especially if it rains today. So but what I'm going to do today is go pick up I'm going to start regating some pipe, and what I do there is you basically just take out the old gates and put in the new, because they get old, brittle, and leaky. Obviously stuff just wears out, but no, that's what I'm going to start doing today. Things are we just kind of got a multitude of small jobs to do, and we're going to go from there and see what else happens in this video. It's kind of how farming rolls sometimes. So one of the biggest comforts I have right now is knowing that about a month ago or so I was driving a tractor along here and I seen a skunk run into one of these pipes. And so I'm just oozing with confidence right now. But last year, my wife and I had to deal with a skunk at the end of the pipe when we were picking it up, and so ain't nothing new. So those of you foreign to gravity irrigation by using pipe, there's two kinds. You can see there's white stuff down there, that's plastic. This is aluminum pipe. These, most of them have square gates in them. There are other kinds that kind of look like a keyhole gate, but these are ace gates. This is what goes inside of the pipe. This border right here is a rubber gasket. It's actually movable. The inside here is plastic, and this is the locking mechanism. So what you got, I'd say these are probably 90% of the gates out there now. Mueller style, there's about 500 different kinds, but now these are kind of the standard. But what you do, you basically put this inside the pipe, this goes outside of the pipe, and then you lock it in there like that. Snap it together. So what I'm going to do now is pop out one of these pipes of gates. There's different ways you can do it. Screwdriver works best, and then I'll just leave them in there. I'll pick all these up. I should have found a box, I guess. I'm not thinking ahead, but that's what I'll do. Alright, so let's get one of these popped in. So this is what your basic pipe looks like. You have a hole. There are different kinds. These gates are 20 inches apart. There's some that were 40 inches apart, but I don't like them because you're usually digging out a row or something, because every 30 inches we have a row and it just never seems to line up right. If you have a gate every 20 inches, you usually have one that'll line up pretty close with the row. So if you're new to pipe for some reason, I don't know why you'd be wanting to go to pipe, but yeah, I would recommend 20-inch gates. So this is my first of 2019 replacing a gate, so hopefully I can get it right. But it's nothing too complicated. The thing is just get it snapped in there right. And there you go. guess if you're asking preference-wise which kind of pipe I would use, I don't know if anybody's asking, but white plastic isn't bad. I prefer aluminum a little bit better just because it's more durable. Especially I like the Rainway or TexFlow makes a similar type bell. Those are kind of the best ones because what that allows is, say you slide your pipe in here, well, this kind of I don't know, what angling in the bell here will allow your pipe to flex better. If you come over here, this is an older style bell right here. As it goes in there longer ways, your pipe tends to not be able to flex as much in one of these. I can't remember the name of this pipe, but if you're going in a straight line, it ain't bad, but this is still more superior in my opinion. And then you got the plastic bell there. It's kind of similar, but plastic will tend to flex better just because it's plastic. So, but the only problem is when you go to pick up plastic pipe, it'll tend to I don't know, it tends to expand and contract, and sometimes if you have any kind of bow in your pipe, it just doesn't want to release very well when you're pulling it out, and so that can be kind of a pain in the butt. Another thing I may not have mentioned is usually the goal is to point the gates that they open this way. I'll kind of have them facing towards the bell, if that makes sense to you. I guess I call that facing towards the bell. The reason why is you usually on the male end we'll plug that into the well and the water will run this way. Well, instead of having the water, say these get weaker and loose, if anything, it's going to come along and push those gates shut instead of pushing it open. And I guess that's kind of our philosophy, and that's usually kind of how they, I guess, come. I don't know if I've ever bought a brand new pipe before, just because pipe's been kind of going out of commission and pivots being put in. The reason why we still have pipe is because you just kind of get odd shaped fields like this, that there could be a pivot put on this one. It's just we rent this field, and you'd still have to lay out pipe in this corner right here. But I mean, that's something you could potentially do, but this field also goes beyond that that tree line there. There's actually another 40 on the other side. This is actually quite a bit of acres for one well. There's actually 100 acres of gravity, which that's kind of pushing it. Usually 80 is kind of what you'd go off of, maybe for an 8-inch well around here. But it is doable. That's the only reason why usually we plant this 50-50, just so you can stagger your irrigation scheduling better. But no, that's how that kind of works. I think I had a thought there, but now I lost it. That's how it goes. Here's a 40-inch pipe right here. As you can see, the gates are quite a bit fewer and farther between. I guess the bonus of 40-inch gates, you have less opportunity for leaks. The setback is you might be digging out more rows. Well, I got most of what I wanted done right now. It's basically this small pile here. I used up 200 gates. Got almost every pipe I wanted done. There was actually half a pipe left, but I kind of saved the best pipe towards the last, so I got most of the leaky gates, or should have. While we're here, we can kind of take a little crop tour, see how the beans are doing. Yeah, they're looking pretty good. They're kind of bushing out a little bit now. As far as we still got a rigid, it's still a little wet. We might be able to come in here. The only thing is it's clouding up more now, and it looks like it could rain. So I don't know if I want to actually come bring the ridger clear out here, especially if it may not work. We'll see what happens there. For those of you who haven't watched the channel before, we planted all Extend soybeans this year. And what those are they're GMO soybeans that allow you to spray a new formulation of dicamba on them, which is called Ingenia. Ingenia is the stuff we use. There's also Fexapan and Extendamax. What the new dicamba is a less volatile form of dicamba, and so what that means is the older versions were actually, you know, if you were spraying in the right conditions, they'd actually cause weather inversions, or when you'd get weather inversions, you'd actually get drifting, and like say that field over there might have been a susceptible crop. Say they were the old Roundup Ready beans that weren't dicamba ready. They'd actually damage the bean a little bit. But what this new formulation is something less likely to do that. It could still happen, but it's less likely. And actually, this same field here is when I did what we did our first extend beans on here 2 years ago, and not by design, it was actually by accident. I planted some beans that had an X at the end of the box. I didn't know what they were, but about 2/3 of the field were extend beans on the east side, and the rest of these over here were Roundup. Well, we actually were brave enough to spray dicamba on that side and take the risk of having them drift over on these Roundup beans. It actually didn't drift on them. They were actually totally fine. And so that's kind of was proof to me that it was a lesser volatile form of dicamba. It's crazy is you're still able to spray the old formulations as much as you want to anytime. The new formulations, we actually got to go to an exam, or not an exam, but go to a meeting every year and basically relearn on the new formulation that's safer. So I think that's kind of weird in my opinion, but it's basically probably to appease other groups that don't really understand, you know, what it is. Nope, those are how the beans are looking. There's actually corn across the road there, but I'm not going to walk clear over there. Another thing a guy would like to do with this pipe is make sure he wires it up, especially when it's right by a highway. I don't want to get the reputation of being the guy that can't handle his pipe. I don't know if you've seen in an earlier video, but those guys who sold me that seed out of the back of their pickup, they actually put up a legit shop. Amazing. Might be the real deal. Man, I leave the yard for 5 seconds. Looks like Dad got the burn hole started. We got a hole we put cardboard stuff and whatnot. Looks like it's really getting going pretty good over there. There's Garrett. He's not here right now.
He's at home.
He's at home, yeah.
I didn't know if he had the... I don't know if he had the...
We got Boss Man running around here. What do you think, Boss Man? Having fun? What's that?
The green lifter.
Oh yeah. There he is. The green lifter. Well, the fire's calming down a little bit anyway. So yeah, last video I kind of mentioned we got some corn to haul here in July. We're starting on a small bin. It's about 15,000 maybe, but luckily it's still got an 8-inch auger, so that's kind of why we still use it. And it's also right next to the field, so we can cart it in. So that's the bin we kind of started on this one, and then we'll move up to our others up north. But nope, we're gonna drive into town. We got the Boss Man with me there. Say hi, Boss Man. So yeah, we're gonna go check that out. So here's the bin we're hauling out right now. Got an electric 8-inch auger on it. So it probably shouldn't be too much longer before we gotta clean it out. So to kind of give you an idea how my 4th of July went, just kind of take a look at this video here.
I know, I told him. Come on, take it off. He won't do it. You know when your Uncle Chris always had us over, we always had to dress, you always wanted us to dress up? That's a lie. Oh, that maybe.
I think that's it for this video. yeah, we'll see if it rains, keeps going, whatnot. But if you like it, just hit subscribe and hit the like button if you really like it. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. See you guys.